So we're in a fairly typical house at Herculaneum. Well, apart from the missing roof, it's fairly typical. The roof would have had kind of a glorified skylight, a compluvian it was called, and you have this corresponding impluvian here, this little pool to catch rainwater that would come in. These houses really needed a source of fresh air and light. The ancient city is loud and it stinks, so you don't really want windows. You don't really have side windows. So you have, a big skylight, and you also have a garden, which we'll take a look at in a second. You also can see here a puteal, or a well, where you kind of collect this this rainwater. Then you could use it. This is the atrium. This is where a paterfamilias, a patronus, and no, not like the Harry Potter Patronus, the head of the household would greet his clients on a daily basis. You have to imagine a more grandiose room with painted walls and some marble on the floor. And also masks of deceased ancestors up on the wall to remind people of the glorious past of the family. That would take place here in the atrium. Adjacent to the atrium is a tablinum. This is like an office, for the head of the household. You can kind of see some of the construction here. You can see some of the, the materials that were used to make these walls. Then you would have had plaster and then paintings, which you can kind of see some of that. Here, the roof, here the ceiling, of course, is entirely a reconstruction. But then, typically, beyond the tablinum, you come to the peristyle, the garden here, colonnaded garden. I think the sun may be an issue. Let me walk around a little bit here. And again, it's just the idea is you want to get some light and some air into the house without exposing the house to the sights and sounds and smells of the street, basically. That's the purpose of the garden. It's really a Greek influence on the Romans, one of many, of course. And so it's a nice place. It's like a little, a getaway. You feel like you're kind of almost out of the city here. And you can see a little greenery, gives you a sense of what it looked like. You would have had columns all the way around, and you would have been able to walk and have some shelter, from the hot sun. And then off of the peristyle garden, you could have bedrooms, you could have dining rooms, that kind of thing. You have to entertain, and typically, the deeper into a house you got, the more privileged you were. You would have been of kind of similar status to the owner of the house. The clients, for example, that the paterfamilias would be greeting, they wouldn't get past the atrium, that's for sure. Some of the basic components of the ancient house. So again, the peristyle garden, the tablinum, or kind of office space, you might think of it that way, a place to conduct business, and then of course the atrium, again where one might greet guests and clients and have family ceremonies, things like that here. You would have had a small shrine here and a few other things that were important to the family. This is the fauces, or the entrance, and you can see kind of the view from here, and it's possible to see through to the entire house.